Hey there, Supervisor. Welcome to the CEU course on building effective supervisory relationships. My name is Christy Wilson, and I'm so glad that you have chosen to adventure with me through this course. As a BCBA myself, I understand the critical importance of developing strong supervisory relationships to support the growth and success of our supervisees and thus our field. I have been a certified BCBA since 2013 and working in the field of ABA since 2006. Throughout this time, I have worked with a diverse range of clients in multiple settings. In all of these roles, I have engaged in numerous supervisory relationships of different capacities. It has grown to be a big passion of mine to become an effective supervisor and leader in this field, and I am excited to share this passion with you through this course. Throughout this course, we will be exploring various different tools and strategies to build your toolbox for effective supervision. We will explore the key elements of effective ABA supervision and dive into practical strategies for building collaborative, supportive, and impactful relationships with those that you oversee. By the end of this course, my hope is that you'll leave with a robust toolbox of practical skills and strategies to enhance the quality of your supervisory relationships and, in turn, positively impact the clients that you serve. So, let's get started. I am excited to share this passion and my experience with you. Sellers, Valentino, and LeBlanc state in their 2016 article on recommended practices for individual supervision of aspiring behavior analysts that the relationship between supervisor and supervisee must be established with an understanding of the critical importance of the relationship and the need to focus supervision on development of optimal skills to produce final success as a practicing behavior analyst. Our objectives, or tools per se, that we will be putting into your toolbox this training will include identifying the key elements of an effective supervisory relationship, exploring strategies for developing strong communication and collaboration with your supervisees, learning techniques for providing constructive feedback and coaching that supports the growth of your supervisee, discussing methods for addressing common challenges that arise in supervision, and understanding the ethical and professional responsibilities that you have as a supervisor. With our first tool, we will discuss key elements of an effective supervisory relationship in the field of ABA. Let's hammer out why this matter is important, what does it mean to be a supervisor, and then more into responsibilities, competencies, and skills, and rapport and trust in the supervisory relationship. First off, why is this important in our field? Why is it important we have effective relationships in our supervision? LeBlanc and Luiselli stated in the abstract of their 2016 paper that the rapid growth of the number of behavior analysts and aspiring behavior analysts creates an imperative for effective and efficient supervisory practices. The importance of strong supervisory relationships in behavior analysis is not something that can be overstated. LeBlanc and Luiselli further state in the same paper that effective supervision is critical to the overall development of our field in that it facilitates delivery of high-quality behavioral services, as well as the professional development of both the supervisor and supervisee. These relationships are essential for upholding ethical and professional standards, fostering competence, improving client outcomes, supporting organizational success, and cultivating a thriving behavior analysis community. Let's take a look at you, the supervisor. What is a supervisor? What are your responsibilities as a supervisor? And what skills are required to be a good supervisor? In the field of behavior analysis, a supervisor is likely a BCBA or other qualified professional who is responsible for overseeing and guiding the work of behavior analysts, behavior technicians, and other staff involved in the delivery of applied behavior analysis services. The key responsibilities of a supervisor in behavior analysis include ensuring ethical and competent practice, oversight and supervision of ABA services, professional development and mentorship, administration and organizational responsibilities, and ethical and professional conduct. Effective supervision and behavior analysis is essential for ensuring high quality services, promoting the professional development of staff, and ultimately achieving optimal outcome for our clients. Supervisors play an incredibly crucial role in shaping the field and supporting the next generation of behavior analysts. In the next few slides, we're going to expand more upon this list. First, let's look at the responsibility of ensuring ethical and competent practice. As a supervisor, we do this by monitoring the work of our supervisees to ensure that they are practicing within their scope of competence and in accordance with ethical standards. We also do this by providing guidance and training to address any skill deficits or areas for improvement that we identify. Lastly, we do this by intervening and making necessary adjustments to protect client welfare. A supervisor is also responsible for the oversight of all pieces and parts of the supervisee's ABA repertoire, including assessment, treatment skills, and ethical decision making. These are just a few pieces for example purposes. We also collaborate with our supervisees to design, implement, and evaluate behavioral interventions. And we model what it looks like to analyze data and make data-based decisions to optimize client progress. Another responsibility of a supervisor is to support professional development and mentorship. Ways that we do this as a supervisor include facilitating the growth and skill acquisition of our supervisees through modeling, instruction, and feedback. We also provide career guidance and support to help our supervisees achieve their professional goals. As a supervisor, we also work to foster a positive and collaborative working environment. Thus, it is important that we stay up to date with the latest research and behavior analysis in order to effectively support our supervisees with the growth and changes in our field. Another responsibility of the supervisor may include administrative and organizational responsibilities, depending on the setting or environment and supervisory capacity that you're in. Ways that a supervisor could support this could include coordinating schedules, caseloads, and other logistical aspects of ABA service delivery. We could also ensure compliance with organizational policies, regulatory requirements, and funding sources, or participate in program evaluation and quality improvement initiatives. Yet another responsibility of a supervisor, and arguably one of the most important, includes supporting ethical and professional conduct. Ways that we do this as supervisors includes upholding the ethical principles and standards of the BACB. We also do this by maintaining and modeling appropriate boundaries and managing conflicts of interest. We engage in ongoing professional development to stay current with the best practices, just like you're doing by taking this training. Kudos to you, supervisor. As supervisors, we also act as a mentor by helping to establish professional values, coaching interpersonal social skills, and developing effective organizational and time management skills that contribute to success in employment settings. Now that we are straight on our responsibilities as a supervisor, next let's look at the competencies and skills necessary to be a good supervisor. LeBlanc and Luiselli stated in their 2016 paper that effective supervision is far more than a meeting that meets the basic requirements established by our credentialing body. As a BCBA supervisor, there are several key competencies and skills required for effective supervision in the field of behavior analysis. We must demonstrate ethical and professional conduct. We must show technical competence. We must have interpersonal and communication skills, as well as instructional and coaching abilities. As a supervisor, we must show leadership and organizational skills, flexibility and adaptability, and lastly, cultural competence and sensitivity. Developing and demonstrating these competencies and skills is essential for BCBAs to provide effective supervision and positively impact the growth and development of behavior analysts, behavior technicians, and other staff. In the upcoming slides, we will go a little more in depth with this list. It is so important for a supervisor to have ethical and professional conduct. This looks like having a thorough knowledge of the BACB's ethical guidelines and a strong commitment to upholding them. Having the ability to identify and navigate ethical dilemmas that may arise in supervision, and modeling professionalism, integrity, and sound decision making for your supervisees. Another competency of a supervisor in ABA includes having technical competence. With this comes a level of mastery of principles of ABA, assessment, and intervention strategies. We also show expertise in the design, implementation, and evaluation of comprehensive ABA treatment plans, as well as being skilled in data collection, analysis, and using data to guide clinical decision making. As a supervisor, we need to have interpersonal and communication skills. Sellers, Valentino, and LeBlanc stated in their 2016 article on recommended practices for individual supervision of behavior analysts that the overarching goal of the supervisor should be to develop and foster a relationship where feedback and guidance is valued, and the supervisee wants to attend and be an active participant at the meeting. This includes the ability to build trust, rapport, and collaborative relationships with supervisees. We will continue to talk about this as it is such an important part of supervision. Also important is having effective listening skills and the capacity to provide constructive feedback, followed up with strong written and verbal communication skills to convey information clearly and concisely. It is important for a supervisor to also have instructional and coaching abilities. This would include a proficiency in teaching, training, and mentoring supervisees to develop their skill capacity. This also includes the supervisor having the capacity to identify learning styles and tailor their supervision approaches accordingly. This is very important to help foster growth in your supervisees, as not all learners are the same. Another instructional and coaching ability includes being adept at providing guidance, support, and constructive feedback to promote supervisee growth. We will talk more about this later in our training as well. Another very important competency for a supervisor to establish is leadership and organizational skills. As a supervisor, we are a leader in the field, and as we know in our treatment as a whole, collaboration with others makes the most effective treatment. This skill development in a supervisor can look like having the ability to establish clear expectations, boundaries, and competencies for our supervisees. Helping teach this to your supervisee is of utmost importance. Also involved is having the capacity to manage caseloads, schedules, and other logistical aspects of service delivery. Depending on your work setting, this could look different, but as a whole, this way of management of demands becomes important the busier you become as a professional. As mentioned previously, it is important to be able to coordinate and collaborate with other professionals and stakeholders. This is important for treatment as a whole and is often a skill that must be taught the value of. Another important skill and competency of a supervisor is the ability to have flexibility and adaptability. When working with another person, especially a supervisee, having the ability to adjust supervision styles and strategies based on individual supervisee needs is of utmost importance to support supervisee learning. Another part that is important is having the capacity to navigate and address complex, ambiguous, or rapidly changing situations. Just as in real life, supervision brings about different questions or circumstances that are not always predictable. Lastly, having openness to feedback and a commitment to continuous professional development is important to support the growth of your supervisees. It is important for us as supervisors to show cultural competence and sensitivity. This looks like having an understanding and appreciation for the diverse backgrounds and experiences that our supervisees and clients may have, as well as the ability to adapt supervision approaches to be responsive to individual and cultural differences. Overall, having a commitment to promoting inclusivity and creating a safe, non discriminatory environment is of utmost importance to model in our supervision and encourage in our supervisee repertoire. As we know, developing rapport and trust is a very important step in any relationship, especially with someone that you're working with in a supervisor capacity. We will next look at why this is important and strategies to help you develop this with your supervisees. Establishing and maintaining rapport and trust is absolutely crucial to an effective supervisory relationship within the field of behavior analysis and any other field for that fact. Here's why these elements are so important. Having rapport and trust facilitates open communication, promotes receptiveness to feedback, enhances motivation and engagement, supports risk taking and innovation, mitigates conflict and navigates challenges, and ultimately enhances client outcomes. Developing and maintaining rapport and trust is an ongoing process that requires consistent effort, empathy, and a genuine commitment to supporting the professional growth and development of our supervisees. By prioritizing these relational aspects of supervision, supervisors can foster an environment that allows for optimal learning, skill development, and positive client impact. Now, let's dive more into this list. Developing trust and rapport in supervision creates the opportunity to facilitate open communication. When there is a foundation of trust and rapport, supervisees feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, concerns, and challenges openly with their supervisor. This open communication allows for more productive problem solving and the identification of areas for growth and development. Having trust and rapport also promotes receptiveness to feedback. Supervisees are more likely to be receptive and responsive to constructive feedback when there is a trusting relationship with their supervisor. And as we know, feedback is essential for skill development, but it must be delivered in a way that is perceived as supportive rather than critical. Having trust and rapport enhances motivation and engagement of your supervisees. Strong rapport and trust foster a sense of collaboration and shared investment in the supervisee's professional growth. When supervisees feel supported and valued by their supervisor, they are more motivated to engage in the supervision process and put in the effort to improve their skills. Having trust and rapport also supports risk taking and innovation. In an environment of trust, supervisees feel safe to take appropriate risks, try new techniques, and explore creative solutions without fearing judgment. This willingness to innovate is crucial for the advancement of the field of behavior analysis and the delivery of high quality services. Having trust and rapport creates the environment to mitigate conflict and navigate challenges. When inevitable conflicts or challenges arise in the supervisory relationship, a foundation of trust and rapport allows for more constructive dialogue and problem solving. Supervisees are more likely to be receptive to the supervisor's guidance and perceptive when there is strong working alliance. Last, but certainly not least, having trust and rapport also ultimately enhances client outcomes, which is really why we're all here to begin with. The quality of the supervisory relationship directly impacts the quality of care and services provided to our clients. When supervisors and supervisees have a collaborative, trusting relationship, it enables more effective implementation of evidence based practices and ultimately better outcomes for the individuals and families served. There you have your first tool in your toolbox. To be an effective supervisor, it is crucial to understand your role as a supervisor and identify the key skills necessary for becoming an effective one.